In Poland Pickup, you will find two files that start with the name Elements. One of them is Elements Frog, and if you open it up, it looks like this. The other one is Elements Parrot, and this is what it looks like. You get the choice of which one you want to do for the Elements of Art skills. It's up to you. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and work with the parrot here. And the first thing that I want to do is I want to zoom in. Actually, I don't want to zoom in. I want to first go ahead and put my name on it. So you see down here where it says name and it says DDMP number. Over here in your layers panel, you see this text layer. And you know it's a text layer because it has a T right here. If you double click on the T, that will allow you to edit that layer. If you double click over here, it just allows you to rename the layer. So make sure you double click on the T, and you can see down here how it becomes highlighted. That's where you can then type in your full name. Please remember to capitalize the first letter of each name. You need to get in the habit of doing that. You can hit space 5 times, and then you're going to put in your period number. Okay, so whatever period number that is. All right, once you're done, you'll see it at the bottom. You can just leave it as is. I am going to be needing probably my history panel, most definitely my layers panel, and we are going to be using mostly the brush tool here, although we may use some other things. And there's going to be some specific settings that we put on the brush tool up in the options at the top of the screen. So we're going to start by zooming in because we're going to start with the bird that is here under line. Okay? Now, we can't just start drawing because we have these layers, and these layers are locked and you can't draw on a text layer. So we want to create a new layer, and we're going to create a new layer for each of these that we draw. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the new layer icon down in the bottom right corner of my layers panel. It creates a new layer that I can then rename line, and then I'm going to go to my brush tool, and I want to set the color first. We want black. Okay. If you don't already have black as your foreground color, remember that you can click on the black and white here. This is your default foreground and background color. And make sure black is in the foreground. Then you're going to come up here to where we set what kind of brush we use. Now, you in a previous challenge use some of these other brushes. We're going to stick with just the round brushes, okay? And what you need to do is you need to set the size of it to 3 pixels. That's 3 px. And then we need to set the hardness to 50%, okay? And you can either type it in or you can use this slider to drag it to 50%. Once you're done, you can click off of it, and then you're ready to go. Now, it is best for this if you use the drawing tablet. Whoops, I probably zoomed in a little too much there. That's at 200. Let me try 180. That's a little too much as well. I'll go 150. And still a little bit smaller. 130. That might do it. Okay. You want to zoom in as much as you can because it does make it easier to draw the details when you do. You're going to use your graphics pen and tablet. Remember that you'll want to make sure that you get a feel for it, and that's why we have this history panel, because if you don't like something that you've drawn, you can go back in your history and undo it. The only thing that you need to make sure that you are doing before you get started is make sure that you are actually on the correct layer, and for this it should be the line layer. Now I'm going to start up here at the head, and I am simply going to and I already drew something I didn't like. I'm going to come up here and kind of in short strokes, I'm going to trace the outline of the bird. Now you see that I am making mistakes, and that's okay. I can refine it, and I am going in small strokes because that's going to allow me to be a little bit more precise as I go around the bird. Now, I know that the first question you guys are going to ask is, well, how much of this do we have to trace? Do we have to trace the outline of the bird? Yes, you do. Do you have to trace over some of the detail of the bird? Yes, you do. Okay. Neatness counts. That's why you want to use the history panel and why you want to do short brushstrokes. You can, as you go, you can hide this original layer to kind of see how you're doing. Okay. And remember that this element of art is line. So all we're doing for this particular drawing is drawing lines. Remember that lines can be curved, they can be fat, they can be short, they can be long. Okay? And you are using lines to recreate this piece of art. Now, go ahead and you can press pause on the video and you can get started. And remember that you want to turn off the layers or the original layer as you work periodically so that you can see your work in progress. And I will continue working on mine while you work on yours. And you can come back at the end and see how much I've done, how much you've done, and see if you have given enough detail with your line drawing. Okay, so I have finished drawing my parrot, and you also want to be finished, and you want to double check, remember, by hiding your original layer. And here you can see that I have the outline of the bird. I show where some of these changes in the feathers, in the colors of the feathers, and where you can see the edges. I have drawn those. I have also drawn the little ladder that the bird is standing on. And if you look at his face, he had kind of some dots or here around his eye, and I have added those as well. Okay, so oh, and then here on the beak where it was black, I also added some lines for that. Okay, so that's how detailed mine is. Now, if you have not yet achieved that, then go ahead and press pause again and keep working on your line drawing of your parrot or your frog until you come up with something that is similar to that. When you are finished, we'll want to do a file, save as, and remember that right now this file that you opened is in schools, or sorry, not in schools, it's in Poland. You can't save to Poland, so you're going to have to redirect this so that it saves inside your Photoshop folder that is inside your schools folder. If you don't see that there, over here on the side, you need to find Cougar 11, then schools, then SFM, and your name. Rename this to your period number, underscore, your last name, underscore, and then keep the name of the assignment, which is either Elements Parrot or Elements Frog. and then hit save so that you've got it saved, and then you can go on to the next video, which is going to be for value and form.